Tabo dravina danascha Shraddhaya cheswaram bhajam Dridavrdasi bhadram te Damena niyamena cha Tabo dravina danascha Shraddhaya cheswaram bhajam. Synonyms. Dridavruda asi, you have undertaken sacred vows. Bhadramte, may God bless you. Dhamena, by control of the senses. Niyamena, by religious observances. Cha, and tabaha, austerities. Drivina, of money. Dane, by giving in charity. Cha, and Shraddhaya, with great faith. Cha, and Ishwaram, the Supreme Lord. Bhaja, worship. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, Sri Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation: you have undertaken sacred vows. God will bless you. Hence, you should worship the Lord with great faith. Through sensory control, religious observances, austerities, and gifts of your money in charity. Purport: in order to spiritually advance or to achieve the mercy of the Lord, one must be self-controlled in the following manner. He must be restrained in sense gratification and must follow the rules and regulations of the religious principles. Without austerity and penance, and without sacrificing one's riches, one cannot achieve the mercy of the Supreme Lord. Kardama Muni advised his wife, you have to factually engage in devotional service with austerity and penance. Following the religious principles and giving charity, then the Supreme Lord will be pleased with you and He will come as your son. Om Nagyanatimmirandasya Jnananjana Salagaya Chakshurunmilidam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stabidam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamaiham Dadadhi Sapadandigam Vandeham Shri Gurum Shri Yudapadagammalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajadam Sahagana Raghunathanidam Tam Sajivam Sadhuidam Savadudam Parijana Sahidam Shri Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalidam Shri Vishakhanidamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dhinabandhu Jagatpade Gopesha Gopika Kanda Radha Kanda Namostude Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sude Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vancha Kalpatarupasya Kripa Sindhubhyeva cha Patidanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktum Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinamadidastu Ma Vidushavahai. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Tat Sat. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Thank you so much for joining today. Very auspicious month of this Purushottam month. Hearing Srimad Bhagavatam in the morning, which cleans our heart and gives us all the auspiciousness. Nashta prayeshu abhadreshu. Bhadra means auspiciousness. Abhadreshu, remove all the inauspiciousness. Nashta prayeshu abhadreshu. Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. So thank you so much. We were going through this section of Kardamamuni and Mother Devahudi. And the last chapter was the lamentation of Mother Devahudi. So we know that the context for hundreds of years, Kardamamuni and Mother Devahudi, they were in the mode of enjoying their life because of Kardamamuni was so pleased with the service of Mother Devahudi. Mother Devahudi was a surrendered soul to her husband. Kardamamuni was very pleased and also remembered the promise which Kardamamuni made to Mother Devahudi. Then they had 9 daughters. And as soon as they grown up, and the same day itself is mentioned, that same day they grown up. And Mother Devahudi and Kardamamuni was about to leave Mother Devahudi. On these situations, Mother Devahudi was, even though was agitated and distressed in her mind, she was very smilingly talking to Kardamamuni. So this was also another great quality of Mother Devahudi that we all can adopt. Even though there is some situations will come with a distress and agitation, we should not express that. We should control ourselves, and especially when we speak with our husbands, wife, especially with spiritual masters, be very controlled in our speech. Vajo Vegam, one should control the speech. So this time, Mother Devahudi was addressing to Kardamamuni was, we were all spending a lot of time for sense enjoyment, which is the, leads to material bondage. On the other hand, Mother Devahudi was, this is the last section of the lamentation Mother Devahudi was going through, understood that the importance of associating with the saintly person, and then Mother Devahudi was, and Kardamamuni, both of them, spending time for sense enjoyment. And Mother Devahudi was mentioning this one, if one does not understand, leads to his life, his activities, his work for the religious principles, then it does not lead anything. Or that religious regulative activities which doesn't lead to the renunciation, then there is no meaning for it. And if that renunciation does not lead to the devotional service, even though they are living, literally they are dead. So it's a great learning, great topic. So Mother Devahudi was telling this to Kardamamuni. So even if we have all this, so which does not utilize for the devotional service, even though person is living but dead. So this way, Mother Devahudi was lamenting and addressing that now all these daughters will go away with their husband's home. And how will I get the opportunity to perform this devotional service? And who will give solace to me? So this is where Kardamamuni was replying to Mother Devahudi, was addressing this, and Kardamamuni was replying to Mother Devahudi. And Kardamamuni was saying, you have undertaken sacred vows. God will bless you. Hence, you should worship the Lord with great faith. Through sensory control, religious observances, austerities, and gift of your money in charity. Dear devotees, this is a great section that how one should perform the loving devotional service under the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Here Kardamamuni was very clearly mentioning, you have undertaken sacred vows. So what are the vows? As a mother, as a wife, and that vows was to serve. See, in the previous section, the lamentation, Mother Devahudi was confirming that is, I was wasting my life. Now I need to engage in devotional service. That's the vows, and Kardamamuni understood it. So you have undertaken sacred vows. God will bless you. So dear devotees, this is a great lesson that we all can learn. So we all have taken vows when we get the initiation. Some or other that we have certain vows. And also this is month of Purushottam, we have taken some vows. So basically this vows, and then we perform these vows with the great penance and austerities. And then what is ultimately happens? The mercy. The Lord's mercy comes upon us. So here in this case, Kardamuni was revealing that God will bless you. That means God will shower the mercy upon Mother Devahudi, and whatever the lamentation and disease that the Mother Devahudi has, that all will be fulfilled. Hence, you should worship the Lord with great faith. So this is a great example for all of us, that we should have great faith in the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Great faith. Shraddha. This is the word in Sanskrit word. Sometimes people say, oh, there is no equivalent meaning for Shraddha and faith. So sometimes we also mix with this faith and belief. Belief is just we are, have some, some kind of convincing that, okay, this is okay, or this is true. You're taking this kind of belief. But the faith is more to that. Faith means that we have determination, nishchaya, faith, firm faith. For nishchaya, we have dependency upon, as it's mentioned, that unflinching trust, which in something sublime, unflinching faith, nishchaya, determination, and then dependency, reliance, dependency. So this is the faith. So that's why in the Bhagavad Gita and scriptures, there are various places it is mentioned that Shraddhavan bhajade yoma. Shraddhavan. So one who has the firm faith or complete determination to the Supreme. Shraddhavan. Shraddhavan bhajade yomam same yukta tamo madaha. In 647, Krishna is telling to Arjuna. So in the scriptures, if he goes through the nectar of instruction and nectar of devotion, there are three categories of the devotees mentioned. There is Kanishta Adhikari, there is Madhyama Adhikari, and Uttama Adhikari. So scriptures reveals that the faith of or the Shraddha of a Kanishta Adhikari may fluctuate because of they have just started, just they begin, and they may not, they have some belief, they have faith, but not what we can say that they have the firm faith. Anything that which comes to them, like some kind of argument, some kind of different other topics, or so they can fluctuate their faith. So that's the Kanishta Adhikari. But the Madhyama Adhikari and Uttama Adhikari, they have firm faith. So that's what is called. Srila Prabhupada mentioned that the Madhyama Adhikari has a staunch faith, and he's a very faithful person on the Supreme Lord. We all can check where we stand. So when there is a firm faith in the Supreme Lord, if somebody comes up with some kind of argument, some kind of other philosophical points, we think that, Krishna is the Lord. Well, how about, Vishnu is the Lord? The Krishna come from, there are so many different arguments. So, but one has the firm faith in Krishna, the Supreme Lord, then that never deviates, that never changes. That platform, that one who is in that platform, he is a Madhyama Adhikari. So he has strong faith. And similarly, Uttama Adhikari. Uttama Adhikari not only has a faith, but he has completely surrendered. That's the difference between Uttama Adhikari and even Madhyama Adhikari. He has even Madhyama Adhikari completely convinced with the scriptures, the knowledge of Krishna. But the Uttama Adhikari is completely surrendered unto the Supreme Lord. Not least that with the faith and completely surrendered to the Supreme Lord. So in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami mentioned that what is this faith? He says that Shraddha Sabe Vishwasa Kahe Sudrida Nishchaya. Sudrida Nishchaya. That's what his faith means. Sudrida Nishchaya. One has to have Dhrida Nishchaya, firm determination that Krishna is my maintainer, Krishna is the protector, and my all life, my existence is itself to surrender, to have complete devotion to that Supreme. No matter what, even the sky falls down, one has to completely surrender to the Krishna. One does not have to deviate, one does not have to change. And we should always have that consciousness. That's where Srila Prabhupada started. And it's mentioned that one of his lecture that Srila Prabhupada mentioned that started this International Society for Krishna Consciousness movement to give faith in the people, in general people in this, to give faith. Faith means that not an ordinary belief. Belief can change anytime. If somebody comes up to something, your belief can change. But this faith in Krishna, that will not change. One has a firm determination, firm faith. So Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami says that by surrender to Krishna or by surrendering unto the lotus feet of Krishna, everything is done very nicely. So one has to have that faith. That is the conclusion. That is called Sudrida. Sudrida means great determination. If one takes the shelter of Krishna, and one has to understand that everything is taken care. So that's the complete. So faith, in one sense, has that complete conviction, and he has a complete surrender. Then that is the perfection of our existence. That's what is exactly Karda Muni was referring to, mentioning to Mother Devahudi. One has to have complete faith, complete determination, strong faith to the Supreme Lord. When you worship the Supreme Lord, you should have that complete faith. So many times our worship, chanting of the holy name, devotional services, and we have vague faith. We don't have. So we have some obligation. So, we took these vows, or we promised to come to, temple, or promised to, devotees to do that, do this. So this is because of some obligation. When we don't have that faith, our chanting will not be perfect. Our chanting, I'm just because of obligation, I'm chanting, then mind goes all the places. We don't have. When we have faith, determination, nishchaya, sudrida, then everything will be follows that. Everything follows that. Unless and until we have this dhrida, nishchaya, dhrida, the faith. That's why Srila Rupa Goswami mentioned that everything should start athav shraddha. Shraddha means beginning. It begins with the shraddha. The devotional service, Krishna consciousness begins with this sudrida, nishchaya, dhrida, or the faith. The determination and the reliance upon the Krishna, the dependency upon Krishna. So everything begins with this sudrida, nishchaya, sudrida faith. Very firm faith in Krishna. Strong faith. So adhav shraddha. So everything begins with that. So when we have this faith, when we have this dhrida, firm determination and the faith in Krishna, then everything else will be, follows that. When we do the chanting, yes, then we have to understand why we are chanting. We are chanting to please Krishna. So when name of Krishna, we chanted with that determination. That's why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu even says that one should have that firm determination, conviction, and as well as humbler than a blade of grass, tolerant than a tree. With that consciousness, one should chant the holy name. If we don't have the faith, what happens? It's kind of like a scattered and it's vague. And then eventually everything is, faded away and we completely lost the interest in everything. So one should have this faith. And then there will be a question, then how we want to develop the faith? One who develop the faith by complete hearing. So unless and until we hear, we cannot develop the faith. So we should always have this understanding. Unless we hear, that one cannot develop the faith. So we should be always open our ears to hear the transcendental subject matter wherever we get it. Especially hearing Srimad Bhagavatam is the topmost of all, as is mentioned that Nashta Prayeshu Abhadreshu. Why we are not having this faith? Because of we have all this our karma, sinful reactions covered with it. So only by hearing that we can eradicate this our this the karma, the sinful reactions, and which prohibit us to hear and engage into the devotional service. So faith in Krishna is very, very important, and that faith we get from the hearing from the transcendental devotees and transcendental subject matter. So then once comes to that faith, the stage, then what is the next? Then he gets the mercy. So unless and until we have that faith, he will not attain the mercy of the Lord, mercy of the devotee. So then how it works? When one has the mercy, mercy means it's one of the devotee mentioned that M means the motivation. One gets the motivation, inspiration, that to engage in chanting, engage in the loving devotional service. E stands for endeavor. Then he would come, he would put his efforts, he would attentively hear, he would attentively chant the holy name. Whenever he does this, he would attentively, because of he has that faith that I'm doing this for Krishna. Krishna is my everything. Krishna is my protector. He is my maintainer. He is everything for me. So in that consciousness, he performs his devotional service. So there is the very great endeavor in the sense mercy, that he will have that determination that I should engage faithfully and completely in the service of the Lord. That's called endeavor. R stands for realization, mercy. When the faith and from their mercy comes to that devotee, realization. He will have the complete realization what is his constitutional position, what is his identity. So then, goes like that, realization. C stands for the change. Basically, he will completely transform. So all this process is to transform to spiritual or to enter into the transcendental realization. So it will have change into that. Y stands for yield, or A is to Krishna. That means Krishna Bhakti, yield. So everything we will yield to Krishna Bhakti. So this is the mercy. One can achieve this mercy by the faith, and it starts with the hearing. So like that, we know that there are so many examples in Srimad Bhagavatam, right? Look at that, there are so many examples like Vilomangalam Thakur. You know that Vilomangalam Thakur was materially addicted in Shelley, but by the instructions of this Chindamani, and even since Vilomangalam Thakur was even after that even addicted, because it's very difficult to control the senses. So what happened? Vilomangalam Thakur even, poked his eyes. He himself make him blind. And then now he mentioned that I'm completely free from all this. So why this happened? Because of one is that he heard that and then put himself into that position that I should surrender to Krishna. And that the eyes were there in between Krishna and Vilomangalam Thakur. And that is the only thing, because of its senses are so addicted and senses are so captivating. And even Vilomangalam Thakur couldn't further progress in Krishna consciousness. He poked his eyes. He broke his eyes. He, voluntarily, he himself made him blind. Now he started to walk to Vrindavan. And he has to completely surrender to Krishna. He has complete faith in Krishna. So while he was walking, he fell down in a ditch. Still, he has that faith in Krishna. Krishna, I'm telling this, Krishna, I know that you will protect me. You will save me. And yes, of course, Krishna came in the form of, protector and rescued him, Vilomangalam Thakur, from a ditch. And he was blind. Think about that. He was a newly blind person. It's very difficult. Even he was very used to it, then he can walk. little bit. But a newly blind person is very difficult for him to move an inch. Then it took time for, and all this time, Villamangalam Thakur had this such a great faith and determination that Krishna will protect me. And as we know that when he is alone and nobody else, he is blind and nothing, and what to do? He reached to Vrindavan. Do you think that it is just because of him or somebody else? No, this Krishna was protecting each and every way to Vrindavan. And every day, even Krishna was personally coming and giving the food, the prasadam and the milk to Villamangalam Thakur because of such a faith. And even though he was completely, blind, but because of his faith, determination to Krishna, then Villamangalam Thakur could see everything. So one day they wanted to touch. Every day, Villamangalam Thakur comes to the temple. I think it's Radha. I think Radha Gopinath's temple. I think I heard that, likes that. So come to temple every day. So these pujaris, they were asking, you are not able to see anything, then why are you coming to the temple? So, but Villamangalam Thakur in a different, mood, and he could see everything, Krishna's Leela pastimes. So they asked one day, Villamangalam Thakur, can you tell me that what Krishna is wearing today? So I wanted to test. So Villamangalam Thakur said that, Krishna is now about to take bath. He is not wearing anything now. They all surprised because of this is the wish. So it's not that, we should have everything. Then only we will have the faith in Krishna. Oh, Krishna, give me that, give me this, give me this. No, the sincere faith is actually one has, the complete that even though nothing is there, and when we have this faith, then he will have everything. So this is the way that one has to develop the faith in Krishna, that Krishna is the protector. Krishna will take it. Krishna will be our ultimate shelter, no matter what happens in our life. So this is the way Kardam Muni was instructing Mother Devahudi. You should control your senses. A devotee is, as we all know that, right? The mind and the senses, the body. And unless we have control our senses, it can deviate from. While contemplating the object of senses, person develop attachment. Dhyayade vishayan pumsa sangaste shupajayade sangastangaayade kama kama krodha bhijayade. Krodhat bhavati samoha samoha smriti vibhrama. Smriti vibhrama buddhinasho pranakshari. See that the chain of is all start from the senses. So unless we have the sense control, so we cannot have the proper worship unto Krishna. And the religious observances, follow the dharma, the code of dharma, austerities and penance, and gifts of your money in charity. In Bhagavad Gita 18th chapter, Arjuna asking this question when in the beginning, what is sannyasa and what is the renounced order of life, tyaga? And Krishna says that. So everything that all the activities based on the material desires, so one renounce that is the sannyasa or the renounced order of life, and renouncing all the results of our material activities known as tyaga. And then Arjuna, Krishna was further saying that is there are some opinion that one should be free from all the this activities like charity and all those because it's faulty, and then because it's part of the modes of material nature. And then then Krishna further mentioned that in my opinion, Krishna was saying that in my opinion, that one should not leave at any time that the sacrifices, penance and charity. And the reason Krishna says that even though, it is a little bit of material nature in it, but it can purify even great souls. Great souls means Mahatma. Even Mahatma, as Krishna says that Mahatma Nam Sumam Bharta, Devim Pragatimas, they are under the divine nature. Even though they are under the divine nature, even though they're a little bit, it can purify the personalities. So dear devotees, these are the Krishna's words. If you have faith in Krishna, then we should completely follow the words of Krishna. Then one should not give up the charity, penance and sacrifices. One should always in the code of dharma. So with this note, I would end here. Thank you so much for being there and on this auspicious month. Sundara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Gaura Premanande. Hari Hari Bol.
Thank you, Shimesha Prabhu. We'd like to wish everybody a safe and Krishna conscious day and week ahead. We'd like to offer our prayers to the Supreme Lord by chanting Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Ram, Hare
Ram
Ram,
Hare
Rama
Hare,
Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Ram, Hare Ram, Rama Rama.
Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Rama
Hare
Rama.
Hare. Shri Narsinga, Jai
Jai
Narsinga,
Jai Nrsimha, Adesha
Jaya
Jaya
Padma
Padma
Ugraviram,
Ugraviravam Shantam Sarvatomukham Narsimham Jagadamaham
Narsinga Bhagwan ki
Ki Jai.
Bhagwan ki jai. Let's offer our humble obeisances to all assembled Vaishnavas, Mancha
Vanchakalpatarubyasya kripa sindubhyev cha patitanam
Pavanebhayo
pavanebhyo
Vaishnaveभ्यो
namo namah.
Vaishnavinda ki jai. That's Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Srila Prabhupada Hari.
Hari Bol. Thank you, Simeshwar Babaji. Thank you, everyone. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Hare Bol. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu.